Welcome to the ACE Talks, the podcast where we talk about the stories, ideas, and moments shaping Accace. I'm your host, Veronica, and I'm happy to have you here for our very first episode. This year marks 20 years of Accace as we were established back in 2006. This podcast is being launched as a celebration of our anniversary. In the next episode, we will capture the whole journey behind the brand we all know today. But later on, we will also invite subject matter experts as well to keep you one step ahead of the latest changes and trends. Fun fact, Accace began as a small local team of accounting aces in the heart of Europe, focused on providing excellent services. But ambition kept the local team growing into a global, multidisciplinary partner that companies rely on across more than 60 locations today. To help us walk through those early days, the milestones, and what set Accace on its path, I'm joined today by the CEO of Accace, Mihaela Pašek-Virlan. Hi, Mihaela.
Hi, Veronica.
Can you tell me when, where, why, and how did your journey begin at Accace?
I like the question, and also I dread the question because I think it makes me go way back. When I think it was in 2007, I'm trying to remember now the month, but to be honest, I don't remember it. I think it was in June. And in Bucharest, in Romania. And I met this very interesting person at that moment, Petra. I think that you will have her in the series as well. And Accace was just starting, I think, in December 2006. The company was established in Bucharest, and they were just trying to expand. And part of the business was corporate and legal services, corporate and trust services. And they needed someone to help the customer, the investor, which were coming from the other countries. And so it happened that I was fed up with my previous job, and if I can call it like this, partnership, and I tried to do something else. So it seemed interesting. We met in the lobby of the hotel because she was in a rush to go and watch hockey. And it was a very interesting interview. And I left being sure that I will never go and work for that company. And somehow the second day we had the call, and I was like, this is crazy, but let's give it a try. Why not? And this is how I started. And I helped, I think, we were a very small team at the beginning. I think we were about 5 people. And in 1 second, we were making coffee to bring to the customers. And the same second, we were discussing about how to expand their business to Romania and what kind of structures to put in place, and taxation and legal and all the whatnots. So it was a very interesting story. It was very, very unique, if I can call it, not your standard.
So you joined in 2007. That means that the company was 1 year old. It's safe to say you've seen Accace grow from a local accounting ace into an international partner. In your opinion, what were the decisions or values that made this shift possible?
I think there is one thing which throughout the history of Accace, coming from Irko, coming from everyone who was in the company, I don't know if it was a conscious decision. We were not afraid. And I think that we always were focusing on what the customer needs to do, what they want to do, and how we can make it happen. And it's very difficult, for example, when nowadays, sometimes I have to say no to a certain customer, to a certain partnership. For me, this is very difficult, but I have to. We will discuss, where we are today and why. But this is how we started. And I don't know if it was a decision, it was just a way of being, and it was a cultural thing that we still have. It's very difficult for us to say no to customers, or to say no to new projects, or to say no to challenges. And I think that this is one of the will to make it happen, the drive to push through challenges. Actually, it's crazy, but sometimes I love when people come to me and tell me that they can't do something, because I love to play the role of the devil's advocate and say, okay, why not? What stops us? Who is making the rules? Why they are making the rules? and how we can find ways how to make it happen. So I don't know if it was a conscious decision, but it's a way of being. I don't know how to call it differently. And I think the other very, very important thing which comes from this is a new jurisdiction. Why not? Let's go ahead and do it. We don't have a branch there? Fine, let's go and find someone who can do it for us. But they have to be the same like us. And I think slowly developed into a systematic approach to expansion and into a systematic approach of bringing around us people with the same DNA and companies with the same DNA and companies that want to grow, they want to develop. And I think that this is how we managed to grow. And one of the other very, very important aspects of it was having people with the same mindset. And for us, it's extremely important. And you know it. We try to stay away from the corporate world. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying that it's a way how Accace is. And staying away from the corporate world means having people around you that are able to understand that flexibility and lack of millions of ranks around you, and to be able to order a pen or to I don't know what, comes with a lot of responsibility as well. And I think that this is something that we had since the beginning. It's getting more and more difficult as the company grows. I start to see it now. And I think COVID made a huge shift in it. But anyway, different topic for a different time. And the other very important aspect that we have been doing is connected to technology. I think that we were one of the very, very first companies that were thinking about technology and not accounting and payroll and tax and legal in the boring way, but really to always try to have implemented new technology, new systems, sometimes making mistakes and getting burnt with developing by ourselves, but otherwise, how can we learn if not from one's mistakes? And these are all somehow all of the secret sauces that we are having since the beginning in making Accace the company that it is today. And if you come to think of it, 60 countries with 800 people, partnerships, and still growing and not having the capacity to absorb the growth and the needs of the customers from all over the world, and you know it very well. It's still something that is pushing us forward.
It does sound like the perfect recipe for success.
I don't know. I think that each company is, from this point of view, unique, and everyone has their own path, but that has been ours.
When you think back to the early Accace years, what stands out as the moment when you personally felt that we are really becoming something bigger?
I started to realize it maybe 2 years ago, but throughout the journey, I don't think we always had, we are going to become this company or that company, or I think it was always, hey, we're having fun doing this. I'm surrounded. I don't think I had I will lie, maybe I did have a day or two when because of the certain stages in the life of a company, you see things shifting and changing. So those are difficult days because you have to make difficult choices. But even then, I don't think I ever had a moment when I said, I'm done. I always come, I see it as a challenge for myself to find the motivation. I don't expect other people to motivate me. I think that this is simply who I am. And I try always to find, okay, this means we are getting to a next stage. What does it mean? And what are the decisions that we have to make to get there? They are not easy. It's never easy because it comes, the growth of the company when, for example, the milestone, reaching the first milestone of 20 million. It was a huge shift, and I started to feel it. In hindsight, every time I realized that around 15, 18, then it starts to feel like, okay, something is changing, and it's taking till you are 25. It's funny to speak in numbers, but it is how I felt it. And then afterwards, when you go 40, 50, it's the same feeling. And I think it's just the doubling of the company. And I'm not mentioning doubling in terms of size of the company when it comes to colleagues, but revenues, because different processes, different things that you need to manage, time-wise is not possible, and especially with the structure that we have in place, which sometimes seems very chaotic. Um, it it is a challenge, and it will always be a challenge. But I can't say that we've been thinking, oh, we're becoming something bigger. I never have this, and I don't think I will ever have it. And I don't know what does it mean to define this big term.
Well, I personally believe that given the history of Accace, it's kind of like part of the DNA, this growth mindset and this pushing the boundaries, pushing the threshold, and always reaching higher practically. And also considering that many of the colleagues are with the company for many, many years, that's kind of like a testament of them still having fun and still being on board.
I think the whole management of the company, if I let me think, I think the whole management of the company to some extent, and not only the management, are colleagues that are with us for definitely more than 10 years. And some of us definitely more than 15 years, and some of us since, since the very beginning. Wow. I have a joke like, I don't know if I should say it, but I will say it. Every time someone asks me something and I reply, then I realize I tell them that I should not reply because they should know about it. And the fact that I'm the mammoth in the company does not mean that I still, so it's, I still feel sometimes that there are changes which will come our way because the company is growing. And I think that it has to be an opportunity for everyone in the company to grow with us. So, yeah.
That's a nice thought.
I don't know if it's a nice thought. I think it's the way how we are. And I like to, another thing that I talk whenever colleagues are asking me, okay, but how did you plan to become the CEO? And I was like, I have absolutely no plan. I just did my, did the work that I enjoyed and experiment. And I think that try to understand when you are working in such an industry where you can never be bored, to try to look, okay, what does it mean marketing? What does it mean payroll, tax, legal, how the connection between them works? Then I think that you can never be bored. So yeah, at least that's how I am.
Actually, let me be the devil's advocate this time. How did it happen, becoming the CEO? What led to that?
I don't know, asking too many questions all the time. And I think that I was involved in the expansion of the company since the very beginning. So if I started in Romania in 2007, in 2009, I went to Hungary. And things were not working very well then. So I I don't remember even if how it ended up. I was supposed to get the branch running, and I said, okay, there is no chance in this setup. So let's try to find if we can find another company on the market to buy. That was has happened, and Istvan is doing a great job, and he's one of us. And then I moved back to Romania, overseeing a little bit the region. Then I realized, oh, we need partners there, we need partners in the other place, and this is how I started to work very closely with everyone around the company. Then, okay, operations in this area are not working. So I don't know. I don't think it was a conscious decision. I never had in plan, like, I want to become the CEO of Accace, or I want to become, I don't know what. I think it's just how it happened.
Was there a specific achievement in the history of Accace that made you the proudest?
We celebrate very rarely, right? And you know it, and you keep telling and mentioning this many times to me as well. You don't realize, or at least I didn't realize, that it is an achievement till people were asking, oh, you still have, like this colleague or this client for so many years. And then I realized that's a huge achievement. Yeah. So if you ask me in terms like this, the same like we have colleagues for 10, 15, 20 years, we have clients for so many years. And I think that this is for me the biggest achievement which I can define for us as a company, that people and clients are staying with us. And the other one is that when I go to environments where I have and I'm meeting with people from the customer side or from like partner side, we are appreciated. And I think that the way how they feel about Accace, the way how they feel about us, is that we are people, we are normal people, we are, it's amazing to work with us. And I think it sounds very trivial when you come to think of it, but this is what I appreciate the most. And I have internally, I have never said it out loud, but we have a policy which it's called no assholes policy. So I think that everyone who came in, regardless if a client or a colleague that started to behave different than what we are used to, I think did not survive for a very period of time. So I think being able to stay true to who you are at the beginning, of course with changes, it's like this is my biggest achievement. And the fact that I'm able to speak with all of the colleagues, the fact that all of the colleagues are able to speak with me or with anyone else in the company, I think that this is, and the fact that we are able to grow and enjoy the challenges and see the fun in work, and that we do quality work, and then clients are coming back and they ask for more. So I think that what bigger achievement I can ask for.
Now, about your day-to-day agenda that you do, let's say on a regular day, what do you enjoy the most?
I am so different every day, or at least that's how I perceive myself, that it's very difficult to say that what I enjoy the most. So there are days when I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to talk to anyone. So if I will tell you that I enjoy love to colleagues and to people, I do, but not on a regular Thursday, with the exception of today. I have huge part of me that loves to close myself, listen to music to the loudest possible way, and just work on revisions, on documents, on things that I have to do, and that I consider necessary for me to focus on. Or playing with the latest technology and trying to find out how we can make things better. And I just had yesterday an amazing discussion with the colleagues from few departments, thinking how we can implement and how we can work more with agents and AI and so on, because we are in a huge process of transformation at the moment. And I think that only amazing things will come if we will be able to address them properly. And there are days when I love to sit in meetings with customers, because I think that we learn a lot from them. And many times I hear that, oh, you should not be doing that, or you should not be doing that, and someone else should do it. And if I don't have contact with the real world, I'm losing. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to bring afterwards to the company. So I can talk about the company vision and where we are heading, but if I'm not in touch on a daily basis with something that keeps me, grounded, I am losing what I can do. So, and I always have a question. I think that one of the things that I like to ask whenever we are doing something, when we are thinking about the strategy of the company, is actually what success looks like. What do we want to reach in short term and in long term? And unfortunately, with everything that has happened since 2019, COVID and war, and that economical distress, and geopolitical situations, and everything which is happening around us, long term has become short term. And I'm afraid of making decisions and strategies that are longer than your next step, because I think that you have to define who you want to be, and that should not change, but you should definitely improve and advance as human and as company. And last but not least, it's also who we want to be, what kind of people we want to be, and what kind of company. And I think that this is what guides every day.
You just shared some very interesting thoughts because at the core, we have some values to which we stick to. But beyond that, we have to stay flexible and keep up with what is happening in the world.
I think we need to stay relevant. Yeah. And technology is, I was, you hear all at the beginning all these kind of theories that, oh, it's going to change the world. And I think that every single, revolution coming from the industrial revolution to whatever happened with the internet era and so on, we were all afraid of it because no one understood what's happening, and we never knew. But I think that I am happy and proud to have such intelligent people in the company to understand that this is a tool that will make our life easier, and it's not something that we can or maybe cannot use. We must use. And I think that AI is going to make our life much, much easier in the future. And we have to stay flexible and relevant because otherwise I think that we are not going to do our job properly in safeguarding the future of our colleagues. And I think that this is what we've been doing since the beginning, and we will continue to do it. So
Do you also take inspiration from your peers, like other CEOs? Because I know you are in touch with quite a significant amount of them.
I do, and I think that I get these questions quite a lot. I think that regardless of the interviews or discussions which I'm having, I have the question like, who is where do you take your energy from, or where do you take your inspiration, or who shaped your I don't know, decisions or yourself. And I think that I don't have one single name and one single company. I think that every person that I interact with, it teaches me something. And when it comes to the CEOs or managers from other companies or from the clients or from organizations that I'm part of, at the end of the day, when you speak honestly and transparently, they fight the same fights and we inspire each other and we have the same problems. And sometimes, of course, that I'm happy that I can, inspire from whatever we are doing. And the vice versa is also very valid. But at the end of the day, we all fight the same fight. And if we try to stay close and honest, then we are learning a lot from each other. And I'm learning more from them than I'm learning from, the history of whatever company or whatever person. So
Up till now, we've been exploring the past and deep diving into your beginnings at Accace. But let's move to the future now. What is your vision for the company in the upcoming years?
the vision of the company for the near future, it's a very good question coming off from what I've just said before, that we are making decisions that are valid for the short term, given that the world as we know it is currently changing. Accace will grow, and Accace has huge opportunities to grow. So my guess is that in the next 2 to 3 years, we will double in revenues, and we will also improve a lot the efficiency. That means that it gives us a huge space to expand and to touch geographies that till now we were not able even to dream of. So we do currently have 60 countries, but there is quite a large of other countries that we were not even thinking to approach. And with the support of the colleagues that are currently working on those projects, and also the support of the technology, we will be able to integrate those countries much faster. And I think that that will give us an opportunity to transform completely the way how we deliver services. So I'm laughing because today in the morning we were discussing with Irko, and I was trying to share, like we like to ping pong a lot of ideas when it comes to technology. And I said, imagine that it's like a video game, and you can choose the various video games, and someone just sits with the console. And I think that this will be the future of the way how we deliver services as well. And I think that the person, the player, if I am to think about the colleagues that we have in the company, are the ones that are going to interact with the customers in a completely different way than what we are used to now. So we have a lot of projects ahead, and we have many interesting ways of delivering those projects. So
Sounds quite futuristic, but as we know, the world, I think, is just around the corner, actually.
yeah, and I think it's just we need, and that will be our biggest challenge for the next couple of months, is to change the way how we look at the technology. And I think that the possibilities are endless. And the projects that we are currently working, even though we were never, Accace was never your typical, regardless of the perception, because in the end you still buy the service itself, right? But internally we do know that we were never your typical tax advisor or accountant or legal or payroll or whatever. And I think that soon we will be able to show this in a more transparent and better way.
Well, I'm really looking forward to that. We are coming to the end of our session, but before we actually say goodbye, I wanted to ask if you have an ACE card up in your sleeves that you can share with the audience, whether that's some wisdom or tagline or motto that you live by.
As I said, I am different every day. And I think that every day when I wake up, I have a different challenge that I set for myself. And I think that if you stop learning, I literally believe this, is that if you stop learning, your body and mind slowly withers. And every day when I wake up, I try to think, okay, what I will learn new today? What is something that I will do new today? And I don't know if it's an ACE card, but I think that if you keep your mind and body constantly, focused on doing something new, then again, the possibilities are endless.
Now, that is certainly an ACE card, so thank you so much for sharing. But not only that, but also all these exciting stories and for walking us down the memory lane, Mihaela.
Thank you very much as well.
To our dear audience, thank you for tuning in to the ACE Talks today. If you enjoyed this episode, give us a follow, click the like button, leave a comment, or share it with a friend. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and keep staying one step ahead.